2, 1, read!
Okay, so I teach a course on technology and the future of medicine that talks about a point when machines are smarter than we are. And I realized recently that I've been criticizing other people for picking out something as a purely human attribute, something machines could never do, and criticizing them for it. And I figured, really, I should try to come up with such a thing that is purely human. And what I came up with is the magic of poetry, not the mechanics of poetry, like saying the words, because a machine could do that, could maybe do it better than we can. But the overall effect is to describe things which you cannot describe in words. I know it sounds like a tautology or a paradox, but a number of famous people have said that. Wallace Stevens in 1950, and so then Alan Watts, who died in 1973. So a bunch of old dudes, but they both felt that the magic of poetry was that you can describe things that cannot be described in words. Things like love and stuff that honestly are not like formulaic, right? So now, just bear with me a little bit. The iconic poem that does this, that talks about how if you name something, that is not the thing. That's the name for the thing, that's not the thing, and the only way to describe the thing is in a poem, right? So it's a very long poem, 31 sections, 18 pages, and it's called An Ordinary Evening in New Haven. New Haven, okay? Now, as luck would have it, my 95-year-old father lives in New Haven, and I go there to see him. We have a lot of ordinary evenings in New Haven. So, yeah, anyway, when he was young, 80 years ago, being able to recite long poems was a thing. Like if you wanted to get the hot girls, that was the way to do it. Memorize a really long poem. And he's so impressed. And now in his 95th year, this skill of his is coming back. And everybody thinks, Jesus, you're 95, you must be ready to die. Meanwhile, he's reciting more poems every day. And, his memories are the ones that he remembered when he was in his teens and stuff. So that's kind of what this poem's about. Is the ineffable magic of poetry the things that robots can never do? And what about the ordinary evening in New Haven, part 2? Is the ineffable magic of poetry what robots can never do? And what about an ordinary evening in New Haven, part 2? The job of the poet is to say what can never possibly be said. So said Alan Watts, now long since dead. But interestingly, he's more active on YouTube than any of you. And every day, somebody puts together some new video with the soundtrack from Alan Watts reading stuff from the 60s, and it really works for the audience of today. All poetry is trying to say what cannot be described in words, ironically. Wallace Stevens also had this idea iconically in 1950 in his very long poem, An Ordinary Evening in New Haven, which now feels like a task to me given to write a part 2 of that poem now. Then, since my 95-year-old father lives in New Haven, and his interest in poetry has reawakened, at an age when others may think only the grave does beckon, he spends more and more time reciting poetry. So let us return to the possibility that it is the space between the words that is important, and the feeling after the words are gone and spent. The feeling you feel, when a poem's that feeling. Like the silence after Casmega says, "So welcome to the dark side of part-time apartheid." Where is he? There he is. Or, "Show me the bottom of the barrel, and I'll show you the trickle-up effect." Or, the age-old question, what is gentrification? But you always wanted to know that. Or the silence after Dweneman's poem ends, like, "New words for known that will have us all speak new words for home." Or, "Into part stone within powdered brown salvation and becomes a known generation of words." And off in the corner, a medical student watching us wishes this could go on forever. She actually said, "I'd like to listen to Dweneman talk forever." Imagine that. So maybe somehow therein, we do the essence of poetry discover. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.